This is the news leader, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Tonight, for the third time in franchise history, the New Jersey Devils do it. They win Game 7, and they win the 2003 Stanley Cup, shutting out the Mighty Ducks before a wild crowd at the Meadowlands. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Dinah Williams, and we begin tonight with a triumph for the New Jersey Devils. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup ending in a 3-0 win over Anaheim's not-so-mighty Ducks. You saw it here on Channel 7 tonight. Devils fans, of course, throughout our area are feeling the thrill of victory tonight. We're going to hear from those fans in just a moment, but first, our Stanley Cup team coverage begins with Scott Clark, and quite a game tonight.
Yes, and the third one in 9 seasons. 3 cups in 9 seasons, that's pretty good. They almost had a 4th. But they are the champions, the Stanley Cup champions. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks took them to the limit, but the Devils reign supreme on top of the hockey world tonight. They packed them in a Land's house tonight. The Devils fans hungry for yet another cup, and they would get it, thanks in large part to Martin Brodeur. He recorded 7 shutouts in the playoffs, had 3 of them during the Stanley Cup Finals, including tonight. And how about Jeff Friesen, the former Mighty Duck who was traded to the Devils this year from Anaheim, came up huge, scored 2 goals. Devils go on to the 3-0 victory in Game 7. The Devils, the Stanley Cup champions. Now, we take you live to the Meadowlands. Marvell Scott joins us for the celebration. Marvell.
Well, Scott, we're right near center ice as the Devils have just won their 3rd Stanley Cup title in 9 years. I'm joined by one of the heroes of this Stanley Cup Finals in 2003, forward Jeff Friesen. Jeff, how great of a feeling was it to be able to hoist that cup after a Game 7 victory?
It was unbelievable. I got traded to Jersey, and the first thing I thought was I might get an opportunity to do that, and then I get to play my former team in the finals. So it's strange how things work out, but what a group of guys. It's unbelievable.
Now, let's face it, you did make it hard on yourselves. Talk about how resilient this team is to win back-to-back series in the 7th game, first in the conference finals and then right here in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, I mean, everyone talked how we couldn't close out Anaheim quicker. That team was unbelievable. They took the defending champions and beat them in 4, and they had a lot of rest. They swept their conference, Western Conference final. This was a heck of a team that we just defeated right here, a team that was well-rested, and it took 7 games. Doesn't matter how you do it, it's just the resilience of this hockey team.
All right, congratulations, Jeff Friesen. Enjoy the locker room celebration. That does it for right now. For now, the New Jersey Devils are on top of the hockey world. Once again, we'll be back with locker room celebration later on in sports. For now, live at the Meadowlands, Marvell Scott, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Okay, Marvell, thank you very much. Isn't it something? A Mighty Duck 1 year, and then he goes and plays the Ducks the next year and wins the Cup against his former mates. Much more coming up during our sports segment, folks.
All right, Scott, we'll see you in a few minutes.
Thanks, Scott.
Of course, for the Devils fans, tonight's win, making up for the humiliating losses in Games 6 and 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals 2 years ago. The fans tonight simply over the moon for their team. Lucy Yang continues our coverage. She is at the Meadowlands for us. Lucy?
Well, Bill, never mind, it is a work night and a school night. It was one enchanted evening out here, worthy of playing hooky tomorrow at Celebrators Party late into the night, because if anyone knows, these fans know who rules the ice.
What a game. What a game. Anybody watching from Garfield, New Jersey, this place was the best. We love it. This is Cup number 3 in 9 years. This puts New Jersey on the map. You gotta love it. I love it.
It's crystal clear. Have no fear. Win more cups tonight than the Rangers did in 54 years.
Earlier tonight, as fans got themselves psyched for the showdown, there were the young and the restless, hot dogs and devil dogs, and a roasted duck on a hockey stick.
We will eat him before the game goes on, and he will be enjoyed by many.
After you've been swinging it around the parking lot?
Yes.
No, I love them. I love eating roasted duck.
Dan Patullo vandalized his own vehicle for the occasion.
I wish there were more fans like me so that they'd get some noise in the arena.
Hitting fast, hitting hard, skating fast.
J.J. DeAngelis bought his tickets on eBay and considers himself a lucky devil, paying $275 for a $100 seat instead of the scalper's going rate of $1,500.
I stood in front of the computer all day, and used eBay to watch, and you know, I was doing the auctions, and once I got to a certain point, I just did the buy now.
College student Mindy Drexel doesn't have that kind of cash, but she does have youth and time on her hands, getting here at 3 a.m. to be first online for any extra tickets at the box office.
If you're a die-hard fan, you got to be crazy sometimes. I love it. Go Devils!
No matter these fans didn't have tickets, have generator and TV, we'll watch from the parking lot.
We're just die-hard sports fans.
Big fat silver cup, guaranteed 2003 Stanley Cup champions. Woo!
Can we guess what the headlines are going to read tomorrow, folks? These fans waited through 7 nail-biting games to get to these bragging rights. And brag they will. We're live at the Meadowlands Community ABC 7. Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Lucy. Scott, of course, will have more on the Devils' win later in sports. And we are waiting for word on when and what kind of celebration will be planned for the team's Stanley Cup championship. Their third. We'll bring you details as soon as they're available.
In other news tonight, police are trying to solve a triple murder in Queens. The body of one victim found by a 13-year-old inside a home. The teen later learning that his parents were also inside, brutally murdered. Jim Dolan is live tonight in Cambria Heights with the latest for us. Jim?
Yeah, Diana, what happened here today left 2 children orphans and must surely have scarred one of those children for life. A 13-year-old boy came home from school shortly after noon today, walked into his house, this house, and found his 21-year-old aunt shot once in the head and dead. Before the day was over, his mother's body was found, his stepfather's body was found, and the search was on for a killer. One by one, they were carried out tonight, a grim parade of numbing grief. 3 people gunned down in a quiet home on a quiet street that has yielded this day a world of agony. Relatives wailed in grief tonight, shocked that 3 of their family members had met so violent an end.
They were real good people. They used to help my mother. She used to come over my house and we used to have a lot of fun, have a fun time together. You know, and I wasn't even there to say goodbye to her.
This 13-year-old boy came home from school around noon today to find his aunt's body in the living room.
A 13-year-old boy came home and discovered his aunt was shot and killed. When the police responded, they found 2 additional persons shot and killed in the home.
The 21-year-old aunt is found on the kitchen floor. The mother is found at the bottom of the stairs down into the basement, and the father is found in another room in the basement.
46-year-old Larry Barnes, 34-year-old Karen Chambers, and her 21-year-old sister Tish Chambers were all found dead in the house. Neighbors said they were pleasant people who took a beat-up house and fixed it up, and with it, fixed the neighborhood.
It was like a little broken-down house. They fixed it up. You can see the changes in the houses and everything. And like I said, they have children, and you never hear anything about them. It's just that you see kids playing in the backyard, playing basketball, never any problems with the children, anything like that. Just sad to see this happen to, you know, this family.
There was no sign of forced entry. The house was not ransacked, but certain parts of the home were disturbed, as if whoever did this knew exactly what they were looking for and where whatever they were looking for might be hidden. Was it drugs or money or something else? So far, at least, police aren't saying. Reporting live from Cambria Heights in Queens, Jim Dolan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Jim, thank you. Tonight, police say they have arrested a man who may be largely responsible for the rising number of bank robberies in New York City. Cops say Oswaldo Planas was taken into custody this morning. Charges are still pending. They believe he's connected to a dozen bank holdups.
Overseas, Israeli settlers vowing tonight to build 2 settlements for every one that is destroyed. It comes as Israel began today to dismantle small outposts in the West Bank, some of them empty, some inhabited by just a few people. Dozens of similar settlements built without the consent of the Israeli government will be torn down as part of the roadmap for peace. No real resistance today, but settlers say they will fight back at several populated outposts slated for removal. Eyewitness News will be back in 60 seconds.
A man from Brooklyn is under arrest tonight, accused of calling dozens of young girls and demanding they perform sex acts. Cops say Philip Wald would tell the girls he was outside their homes and he would rape or kill them if they didn't do what he said. At least 50 victims are in Chappaqua, and that's where N.J. Burkett has our story.
Detectives say he made more than 100 calls in a single day. targeting young teenagers with obscene telephone calls, demanding they perform certain sexual acts. Detective John D'Angelo of the Newcastle Police Department.
And what he would do is instill fear in them that he was outside of their home, that he could see them through the window, and if they didn't do exactly what he told them to do, that he or other people would come into their home and either rape or kill them.
Over the weekend, detectives arrested 35-year-old Philip Wald after tracing several of the calls to his home in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. But they say solving the crime took months.
This man was very clever at hiding the identity of the phone that he was using. He used a prepaid calling card. The particular type of prepaid calling card that he used had a local access number. Unfortunately, technology hadn't caught up with itself that easy.
Investigators say there were at least 50 victims, mostly girls 12 to 15 years old. Although the investigation began in Westchester, detectives now believe there are many more victims, not only in the 914 area code, but 845, 718, 212, and 516. Susan Rubin lives in Chappaqua with her 3 daughters.
I think parents, have got to talk with their kids, no matter what age, about, strangers. And whether that's the internet or the phone, we all have to have that communication.
Investigators say the calls began back during winter break. And some children were so terrified, they actually went to work with their parents because they were too afraid to stay home alone. In Chappaqua, New York, N.J. Burkett, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
When we come back, are we going to see 80 degrees this week? Lee Goldberg has the AccuWeather forecast coming up. Plus, why your family may be at risk for dangerous levels of lead right in your own home. Coming up next on Eyewitness News. Lead paint has been banned for years, but a new study finds that children in some areas are still exposed to very dangerous amounts of lead. The problem is lead dust, and it can cause serious health problems. Art McFarland has more.
Maria Salvatierra has new concerns for her family's health since their apartment was tested for lead by a group of community activists.
They found high levels of lead, especially on the closets and in the windowsills in the back rooms. And I feel very worried because I have 2 small children.
The Pratt Area Community Council today announced the results of testing in a few dozen apartment buildings. According to the group, apartments like this one produced troubling results.
Of the 35 buildings, 13 of them, or 37%, had at least one hazardous apartment. And of the individual apartments, of the 59 we tested, we found that 19 had levels of hazardous lead.
The study was done using Brooklyn teenagers who the activists say were certified to do the testing.
The third really frightening thing is that 89% of those homes that had hazardous amounts of lead also had children under 6 present.
But the testing and the methodology used by the group is being questioned by the Rent Stabilization Association, which represents landlords.
You shouldn't use children to manipulate a law. And so the fact that it was done by high school students who were supposedly, trained in EPA techniques, yet the fact that no one has seen the study makes us a little suspect.
The city's Department of Housing Preservation and Development says it does enforce the city's lead laws, and where necessary, it sanctions landlords where the levels are found to be high. The hearings in the City Council on the proposed new laws will be held in about 2 weeks. In Bedford-Stuyvesant, Art McFarland, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Changing gears now, this has been a year of big birthdays for some big New York City landmarks. The Brooklyn Bridge turning 120, Central Park turns 150, and now the Williamsburg Bridge is turning 100 this month. On June 22nd, Brooklyn will throw a day-long centennial party at Continental Army Plaza in Williamsburg. This birthday cake, just a model, but the real cake will be there on that day. It'll be 11 foot tall and serve 3,000 people.
He's looking for his piece already.
Yeah, cut me a slice.
Plenty left for you, Lee.
This year, right?
Yeah, that's right. No question about it. We don't want to leave any of our bridges out, and that's why we have the Triborough tonight on a very pleasant evening. Been a while since you've been in the study. Yes, well, it was feeling a little bit left out. So we go to Triborough Bridge on a partly cloudy to mainly clear night, and there it is, moving nicely. All right, we have a spectacular night. When's the last time you remembered it being in the 70s at 11 o'clock? It's 71. The humidity 65%, and right now the barometer's on the rise. Got the right wind direction out of the southwest. We hit 74 today. We're going for 80 tomorrow. The average is upper 70s. Will be very close. No rainfall for the city today, but we did have a few isolated showers with this departing cold air north and west of the city, northwest New Jersey. One shower currently leaving Westchester. It's near about Bedford to Ridgefield, Connecticut, but that's pulling out. And you can see very few clouds in the wake of this. We'll just see clear skies by morning. 50s in many of our suburbs right now. We'll wake up to 50s in the suburbs, 60s in the urban areas where we hold on to the heat a little bit longer. Weather systems are moving faster across the country now, and that's a good news. Now, the only problem is that we're looking halfway across the country at this next storm. You say, well, okay, maybe we at least have a couple of good days. Well, this one will be here by about lunchtime Wednesday. So this is our window through tomorrow and early Wednesday. In the meantime, we'll focus on this storm. Lots of thunderstorms through the northern plains right now. Don't have to worry about it for the time being because it's high pressure right now that's moving in from the Ohio Valley. It's actually centered over Cleveland right now. It'll be pulling in during the day tomorrow. It leaves us with bright sunny weather and beautiful temperatures as temperatures approach 80. Balmy breeze tonight, 63. Tomorrow, a rare gem as we get up to 80. There's our storm coming in for Wednesday. Let's take you through the late week. Wednesday, some showers move in by lunchtime. High pressure moves in, gives us a pretty nice Thursday. There's the next storm. Again, they're moving quickly, and that arrives for Friday. With any luck, we could get it out of here for the weekend. Here's my AccuWeather forecast. At 7 a.m., it's sunshine, 50s in the suburbs, and then just a gorgeous day. 80 degrees, bright and beautiful, warming up. And then for tomorrow night, just some high clouds at about 66. My 5-day AccuWeather forecast. Again, it's off and on, almost an event every other day. So midday, an afternoon shower, thunderstorm Wednesday. Thursday's nice. Friday's showery, then we should clear out by Saturday afternoon, about 74 degrees. There you go.
We like it.
Enjoy.
Good enough.
Thanks. Coming up next, the effect that movies can have on teenage smoking. But first, let's take a look at tonight's winning New York lottery numbers.
For those of you holding New Jersey tickets, we're going to take a look at your winning lottery numbers. And now, tonight's drawing of Take 5.
There's some strong evidence tonight that young people who watch movies where actors smoke a lot of cigarettes are more likely to pick up the habit themselves. In fact, a new study shows those kids are 3 times more likely to begin smoking than adolescents who are exposed to less smoking on screen. Researchers also finding that more than half of the youngsters who started smoking did so entirely because of seeing a movie and stars light up on screen. And New Jersey drivers may soon see some benefits from auto insurance reform legislation signed into law today by Governor McGreevey. For decades, insurance companies have abandoned the Garden State, saying the state's laws limit their profits. This new bill promises to ease restrictions and create some competition. That may eventually give drivers some lower rates.
Senator Hillary Clinton's Living History book tour is off to a promising start. More than 1,000 people lined up at a Midtown bookstore to get a signed copy of the First Lady's much-anticipated memoir. Senator Clinton says the book is a reflection of the darkest years of her husband's presidency and their marriage after the Monica Lewinsky affair.
Well, maybe when it comes to love, being a little blind or having a blind spot is something that happens to people both in public life and in private life.
The book signing was supposed to last just an hour, but Senator Clinton was still signing copies more than 2.5 hours after the event started.
The Devil's still signing some autographs in the Meadowlands.
Hail to all the Devils, but it's specific. How about Kenny Danico, an original Devil, 18 years of it, huh? Plus, how about this, 21 seasons of the NHL, Scott Stevens, oh, captain, my captain, the cup runneth over. Next.
The victory tonight especially sweet.
A dynamic team of the decades. Yeah. They could have had 4, one win away from having 4 of them. 2 years ago, the New Jersey Devils blew a 3-2 series lead and lost the cup to the Colorado Avalanche. They didn't want that to happen again. The Devils have beaten the Anaheim Mighty Ducks 3-0 in Game 7 for the Stanley Cup. Before the game, the coveted and concealed Stanley Cup brought into a packed house of both the Devils and the Nets, vying to be the House of Champions. They're halfway home. The Ducks on a power play late in the first. Patrick Elias caught them pinching. Breakaway on Jean-Sebastien Giguère. Dekes this way and that. Tried the backhander. No. Stuffed. After a scoreless period, way back the blue line, Scott Niedermayer sent it in, deflected by Mike Rupp. past Jaguar. The Devils had the lead 1-0. It's tough to catch them when they have it. Here come the Mighty Ducks in the attack. They had a couple of good chances. Martin Brodeur up to the task each time. So it remained 1-0. So later in the second period, Niedermeyer sends another shot from the blue line. Watch on the left. Jeff Friesen sends a rebound home. Devils had a 2-0 lead after 2, and they were polishing up the cup for its suitable recipient. The Devils. The clock winds down. They celebrate the cup, their third in 9 seasons. The Conn Smythe Trophy for Most Valuable Player goes to the Mighty Ducks goalie, Jean-Sébastien Jaguar. But I'll tell you what, they'd rather have that hardware right there. And Scott Stevens, Brodeur, and everyone has that. The cup. Marvell Scott, live at the Meadowlands with more right now. Marvell.
Well, Scott, I'm live outside the locker room, and they have already begun to break out the bubbly. I'll have to pay for a dry cleaning bill. That'll be pretty hefty sometime soon. But, hey, it's worth it. The Devils totally dominated on the ice tonight, locking up their third shutout in this year's Stanley Cup Finals. This is a time for celebration. We take you to the locker room. There you have it. Players drinking from the Stanley Cup. It'll belong to them for the next year. Afterwards, I caught up with players, and here's what they had to say about being on top of the hockey world again.
It's unbelievable. This team's worked so hard. This organization's awesome, and just proud of everybody. We found a way to win all year, and we did it once again in the last game of the year. It's an unbelievable feeling. You know, it's fortunate to be my second time, but this time's even better.
Well, it showed a lot of character. I think we've been great in home ice all playoff long, and we showed it again. You know, we took a lot of pride all year to do that, and it paid off.
Well, there you have it. The Devils, Stanley Cup champions for the 2002-2003 season. 3 titles now in 9 years, and all players agree, winning never gets old. We're live outside the Devils locker room at the Meadowlands. Marvell Scott, ABC 7 Eyewitness News. Scott, to the victor goes the sports.
All right. Thank you very much, Marvell Scott. Well, now about the Nets. It's their turn. They and the Spurs have a couple of days to recover, the Nets to reassess, and then resume their finals run against San Antonio. The Spurs regained home court advantage with a winning Game 3 over a sloppy Nets team last night. Now trailing 2-1, the Nets know that next game is huge.
We got to come out and win Game 4 no matter what if we want to have a chance to win this series. Because, you know, San Antonio is a great road team. You know, they go into Dallas and win all 3. So we're going to have our hands, you know, filled.
Former Knicks head coach Jeff Van Gundy is being courted by the Houston Rockets. Van Gundy, who is still under contract with the Knicks until July 31st, is said to be in negotiations as we speak. The Washington Wizards are also interested in Mr. Van Gundy. Meanwhile, in New Orleans, the Hornets already have their new coach, Tim Floyd, getting another shot in the NBA after an unsuccessful run with a very bad post-Jordan Bulls team. I'm Scott Clark. That's it for sports. The Devils are the Stanley Cup champions.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Scotty.
Thank you, Scott. We'll be right back after this.
An important find in Egypt. Archaeologists believe they have uncovered the mummy of the famed queen Nefertiti.
The queen is immortalized in the beautiful sculptured head found in Egypt nearly 100 years ago. Ever since, archaeologists have searched for her grave, and now scientists are taking x-rays to determine if the unearthed remains are indeed those of the powerful queen who reigned over the Nile nearly 3,400 years ago. Wow. That's the news for now. Thanks for watching. I'm Diana Williams.
And I'm Bill Ritter. Nightline's up next. Eyewitness News returns tomorrow morning at 5 a.m. for all of us. Have a great night.
Good night.